way we get.
The biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, comment, etc., etc. All right, so we're gonna go over a few of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make when first going into business or starting a new business. The first mistake is not starting. Most people don't really have what it takes to actually press go. Most people simply do not know how to start. You absolutely have to start in order to finish. If you cannot start, it's impossible to finish anything. And that goes for anything in life. So you must start in order to finish or accomplish anything in life. So people might ask, like, well, how do you start? What do you do? Well, the easiest answer in the world is you just gotta do it. Sometimes you gotta be just like Nike. You just gotta do it. Just like Nike. Like, as simple as that. The biggest issue and the biggest thing that stops people from starting is everything that's going on right here. That's the biggest issue for most people. The secret is that, believe it or not, if you actually look and pay attention to a lot of the different examples out there, a lot of people aren't that good at what they do. You know, a lot of people aren't necessarily the best at that particular thing. You know, they're not, necessarily the best at that skill or the best at that sport, but they have discovered a way to redirect the majority of the attention on their particular product or their particular skill. How do you engage? How do you engage? How do you attract? How do you become attractive? Start practicing just being normal, being yourself. Even though on the flip side, you do have a lot of professional speakers and actors and stuff like that, which are actually good examples. These are people that, actually, practice 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, around the clock on, portraying an image or being something, looking in the mirror constantly, repeating different affirmations, mentally, throughout the day, throughout the night, and sometimes, honestly, I mean, in so many ways, that's something that's also healthy or a good thing to do, because you have to make some things you have to make a habit of, a positive habit of. Habits are not necessarily negative, so it might be some things you just don't naturally do. It's a lot of different things I don't naturally do. Maybe not a lot, but it's enough, especially in relation to, being open and communicating with people, such as this video that I'm doing right now. So it takes a lot of, mental push and, dedication, and just me constantly motivating myself and putting myself in position to stay motivated, staying around and harnessing my own motivating energy, to help push me to press the start button, to be consistent and things of that fashion. The second thing people do that may be considered a mistake is overspending or mismanaging money, failure to budget. Same thing, same principles. Person will come up with an idea, but without a plan. So that's like that's like seeing an ending point. Like, most people know where they want to end up. Like, you ask people, everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be rich. So that's the end point. That's the finish line. But most people didn't consider the actual field you have to run across to get to the finish line. You know, the endurance you need, the exercise, the health, the stamina, et cetera, et cetera. So that's gonna take, dedication, time in the gym, working out, personal training, changing your diet, things like that. So if we spend as much time or spend more time actually mapping out or strategizing a plan, then we would save more money, and then in essence we would make more money. Everybody has a bright idea these days, but they don't know how to really bring those ideas or make those ideas a successful business plan, because most people just do not have a business plan. They feel like, okay, here's the product, or here's the service, or here's me, and all the people are just gonna come flying. Or the difference between you, or the biggest thing in between you and success, is you and the people. So it's the middle ground, it's the block. So it's the center, it's an invisible line right here. You have to figure out, how do I get the people here? And that is the question that everybody's trying to figure out in whatever industry that they're in. So once again, I would always recommend always harnessing self. Figure out who you are first as an individual, especially before you get into a lot of these other different forms of art. Because some things may put you in a position where you tend to, chase this reality or perception of reality so far that you begin to lose yourself. So always find yourself inside of everything you're doing, so that now it's not like you're chasing anything outside of yourself. It's more so that you're using something outside of yourself to express yourself, in another way, form, or fashion. So yeah, making sure you have a proper plan in place, budgeting, knowing when to spend, when not to spend, knowing what to spend money on. A lot of us spend money on marketing prematurely, or the wrong marketing materials, because we don't understand our market. You can't just get some flyers designed and print them up. I used to think that way. I used to always have a trunk full of full of flyers and business cards, like the centuries, ever since high school. Trunk full of flyers, trunk full of business cards, which is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good thing. So I'm willing to invest in myself. I'm willing to get out there and pass them out and stuff like that. But when I realized that even if I dumped thousands of business cards, thousands of flyers out, does that mean that I had thousands of clients and people calling my phone and emailing me? Absolutely no. The law of averages with any type of marketing, you want at least to get a 10%, or they say it's 10%, but sometimes it's not even 10% if you're going after the wrong market. If you're dealing in the industry that's seasonal, is it short term, is it long term? Sometimes it might be a business that might just be temporary, but it still might be a good idea to invest into it. But you already have the understanding that it's a temporary investment, but you're going to use that temporary investment as a leap into your next phase of business, or the next, your next target audience in whatever industry that you're in. Next thing would be bad partnerships and bad relationships. So that can be on either part. So that's either you're a person that doesn't know how to identify individuals correctly, bad judge of character. You're not able to see frauds and scam artists and stuff like that from a mile away. So you get involved with them. Then we end up tying a knot with people way too soon. Just like the dating game. You got to give yourself time to get to know who the hell you're dealing with. You don't just meet somebody today, have a great conversation, even though that could happen. You can meet somebody, they have a great conversation, you guys start taking off like a rocket. But at the same time, you still need to give yourself enough time and space to get to allow things to be revealed without putting you in a position that can possibly, damage your career or damage your reputation personally or your credibility. So, and credit always outweighs any type of financial gain. That's another thing we need to understand as entrepreneurs. A lot of times we sell ourselves cheap, or we sell out. So, of course, selling out is a lot worse than selling yourself cheap. A lot of times we do undersell ourselves. Of course, you got to start off at a certain point, starting off until you build up that credibility. But a lot of times we get stuck in that limbo, not being able to make that leap into the next tier. But then we have others that end up selling themselves out, meaning by compromising or getting involved into people and things that compromise who they are as a person. Doing things that makes them do things that's outside of their normal character, as a man or a woman. Not taking advantage of the resources that are around you. I see this a lot too. I see a lot of us have, like I say, just a bad judgment and character. We are easily sold to the things that we see, on TV or the internet, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So we get sold by these people that project these certain images that we don't truly know exactly what their standpoint is and how these people are truly living and what are their actual levels of success, because that can't be determined until you actually know these people. You see what I mean? So a lot of times we spend so much time watching these individuals and mimicking these individuals. We don't now, not all the time. Some of us may not have people around us, but some of you guys do have people around you, that you can that is the actual real life example, or that individuals that you can take different character traits from, or adopt different things out of a few different individuals that's around you, to enhance and create a better version of yourself. A lot of times we overlook that the people that's directly around us, or we take advantage or exhaust resources that's around us, because a lot of times we got people that we know. We tend to ask for things without even exchanging value or energy. Just because they're family or friends. We think that they're just supposed to extend their hands and services for no type of return or mutual benefit. And then by the time they actually get an opportunity and they need a person's time, energy, and service, that those individuals might not be at the most happiest place to extend their hand, their time, and their services. So keep that in mind, or we allow other people in our that we're affiliated with to exhaust our resources, like using our credit that we have with somebody else, for their own best interest. So we have to be able to manage our resources, and do not mismanage. Use but do not abuse. Use. Do not misuse. Utilize the people. Utilize the resources around you, but do not abuse and do not misuse. And in that same essence, always try if you want something or need something from somebody, try to make it always make sense for the other person. So a person would enjoy, doing things and sharing things with you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us get extremely selfish when it comes to that, because we get so used to getting and acquiring things from other people that we think, and some people they might be able to extend favors and things like that effortlessly, so to the point where you might feel like, oh, it don't take that. Oh, it don't take them nothing to do that. Oh, it don't take them no time to do it. Oh, it don't take them no money to do that. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that everything takes time. Everything takes some form of effort and maybe even some form of money. It's just all about respecting the other person's time, energy, and